Howdy. I look insane right now. I took a shower and I washed my hair and it's still really wet, so that's why I look like this. But today's video is going to be interesting because I've never filmed anything like this before. But basically, your girl is overwhelmed by the amount of books that she has. Okay, so during the whole of 2021, I acquired a ton of books. Basically, my love of reading got sparked, especially by historical romance books. So I just acquired a bunch of books from work. I've said this a ton in past videos, but I work for the public library in my city, and where I'm based at is where all of the books that aren't circulating very well, or book donations, where I work is where all those books go. So, there's basically a ton of free books that show up that are going to be either donated or properly recycled. And so, yeah, when I see something, I just take it. And it's gotten out of control. And honestly, I have the space in my house for all these books, but I do not have the bookshelves or bookcases for them. So I only have 2 bookshelves and they're pretty small. And yeah, I don't have enough space for everything. So me and my partner's solution for this is that we're wanting to get more bookcases, but we've been searching around for I think a couple months now, and I just can't find anything that I really like. We'll find something on Facebook Marketplace and then it ends up being sold before we can contact the seller. And I was debating on getting stuff from IKEA, but we would have to order it from out of state because we don't have an IKEA location. I don't know, it's a whole thing. So I had planned on filming a big bookshelf organization video once we got the bookshelf or bookcase, but it just doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Today, as I'm filming this, it is December 23rd, so it's a day before Christmas Eve. So I don't even think we'll be able to get a bookshelf until 2022 in January, just because we're not finding anything and things are kind of busy right now. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what the book situation is right now, just so you can get an idea. Okay, so this is technically our dining room. And yes, it looks really crazy right now because again, everything's pretty disorganized. Here. This is my book wall of shame. Every time that I find books at work, I always ask my partner, hey, I found more books. Do you care if I bring them home? And he says, yeah, of course you can bring them home, duh. But then I stack them on this wall and then the guilt sets in. But yeah, it's ridiculous. A lot of these are historical romance. I just really want to collect them because they all have a bunch of gorgeous covers. I have a ton of super vintage bodice rippers that I've recently acquired. There's also some young adult and horror and suspense books in here. I'm about to get to that in a second. Over here is one of the bigger bookshelves, and yeah, you can already tell. These are packed in with stuff. There's tons of things in here that technically shouldn't even be in here because they're not books, especially this shelf. None of that even needs to be in here. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so disorganized. And then over here is basically just a ton of books that I'm not even probably going to read ever again, honestly. This shelf has basically turned into a catch-all shelf, where we just throw our random stuff. All of this right here is primarily library checkout, so I have to be really careful about those because these don't belong to me. And then, yeah, a lot of this stuff down here is just like books that I've had since I was little. A lot of them are also books that I read in college, and it's just so disorganized. There's no rhyme or reason for the most part about why these books are in these exact spaces. By the way, sorry if this is making anybody feel disoriented. I'm like holding the camera, so it's probably really making people dizzy. But yeah, I don't know. It's so overwhelming to me. And the really sad part is that I actually have more books at work. Not a ton, but I do have like a really tiny like bookshelf in my office, and I've already acquired a bunch of books. So today I'm going to go through and I'm going to unhaul a bunch of books. Yeah. So I think I'm going to split the videos up because I am going to try and organize the books a little bit today, but I'm not even sure if they're going to like even fit in the bookcases. And once we acquire more bookshelves or bookcases, I have to like reorganize them again anyway. But yeah, I need to do something because it is stressing me out. I'm actually somebody that like I'm the type of person that deep cleans my house every week. Like once a week I deep clean the house. So every time I have to walk by this book wall of shame, it hurts me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do a time lapse in this video because I use my phone to film and my phone's probably gonna crash. But I'll see what I can do. Okay, I'm gonna start with this shelf first. So pulling out the books didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, but I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm super congested now because I have really bad dust allergies. But I kind of did it a little bit. So I didn't donate a ton. All of this right here is what I'm going to like donate or whatever. It's honestly mostly just books from whenever I was in college. There is some like young adult that I don't think I'm ever gonna read, and some like manga, random bits, a historical romance that I really didn't like. But most of it is just like classics that I read while I was in college, and I didn't like them enough to keep. Here on our living room table is like all of the bullshit that I kept in the shelves that are not books, and also stuff that was on the dining room table. Okay. Over here, this is all of the books that I'm going to keep that are not historical romance, and I tried to organize them a little bit. So here are some art books. This right here is adult romance, specifically like paranormal romance or dark romance like mafia romance. This right here is a really tiny stack of science fiction books. Most of those are my partner's. This right here is nonfiction books, including that right there, those two. These two piles are actually like horror books, which I'm really surprised that we actually have that much. I didn't even realize that we had that many. And the same for these two piles. So this is like a mix of like young adult. So there's like, it's mostly paranormal romance, young adult, but there's also like a tiny bit of fantasy. I put in some of like the Harry Potter collection books that I have because I guess technically that's young adult. Oh yeah, so here's the rest of the Harry Potter stuff. This right here are like graphic novels and manga that I can't will myself to get rid of them. Some of them I've had since I was like a child. This right here is like a big stack of classics that I can't bring myself to donate, even though I'm probably never going to read them again. This is what I consider like women's classics. So I have like a couple like Jane Austen and whatnot. And then this is like adult fiction that I just can't figure out what subgenre they belong to, so they go right there. Now, okay, so this little pile right here is my collection of like spiritual and metaphysical books, because I'm actually like really into like spirituality, even though I don't really talk about it too much online. And then all of this, oh God, this is all of my historical romance. Now look, my ideal situation is that I would have an entire bookcase just dedicated to my historical romance books. But since I only have these 2 bookshelves, still don't think I'm gonna have enough room. Okay, y'all are probably looking at that and being like, Zoe, there's a bookshelf in that back room over there. That's not a bookshelf for books. That's for my art supplies, and it looks really chaotic, and I have to organize that later too. But anyway, we're just doing books today. Oh, and then I think I forgot to mention that this little stack on the table are my library checkouts, and I don't think I'm going to stick them in the bookshelves just to make sure that I keep them separate. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put the books back into the shelves. So you're sitting on top of my smaller bookcase, and I'm going to try and plug in as many of my books that are not historical romance into this shelf. I don't think they're all going to fit in here, but that's the plan, because I want the bigger shelf to mostly be historical romance, but I don't know if that's going to work out. But we're going to try. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to organize my historical romance based on author last name, which might sound insane, but I just feel like it'll be easier for me to search for books if I can see the author last name. Yeah. I don't know how well this is going to go, because again, I don't think I have enough space for all of these books, but we're going to try. Okay, I had to change because I got so hot, but I mean, it looks fine, I guess. I'm just not the type of person that's ever gonna have like aesthetically pleasing bookshelves, but that's fine. So basically, it starts with my spirituality books, morphs into nonfiction, which a lot of that is spooky. So then it goes to like horror classics, thriller books, and then it goes down to our little bit of science fiction books, adult fiction, and then it goes into women's classics, then all of my classic books, art books, and then the very start of some young adult fiction, and then I tried to pick like fantasy young adult. Now the hard part is me trying to alphabetize the historical romance. But I still have like quite a few young adult and manga, and then dark paranormal romance. I don't know if it's gonna fit, y'all. There's no way in hell I have enough room for all of this. Howdy. The lighting in here is pretty bad. It's a super gray but cozy Saturday. Today's actually January 1st of 2022. It's New Year's Day, and we finally got the new bookshelf set up. So my partner's mom actually got us a bookshelf for Christmas, which is really, really awesome because I've been pretty stressed out about trying to find a new bookshelf. So that really saved us a lot of trouble. So my partner put the bookshelf together, and then I wanted to wait to set it up because I wasn't sure where we were gonna like put everything on the wall and like what books were gonna go where. I may or may not have coerced my partner into letting me use the big black shelf as historical romance. He's looking at me right now, but I'm sure he's fine with it. He's very supportive of my hobby. But yeah, so I didn't film me putting any more books in the shelves because honestly, I don't know how people like film and do tedious work like that at the same time. It's a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a little book tour. Okay, so here's the view of our like dining room area where the bookcases are, bookshelves, whatever. Yeah, so this black one over here is the new shelf. I'm pretty sure it's just like a Walmart brand. I think it looks pretty nice. I don't mind that it's not like the nice wood ones. I actually really like the look of the black shelf. We're going to start over here at the small shelf. So a little bit has changed. I am currently perfectly fine with the amount of space in this shelf because I know I'm gonna get more books. Like, I don't know, I'm just fine with the spacing. So this top shelf is all of my metaphysical spiritual books. As you all notice, a lot of the shelves have tchotchkes on them, little things. Sorry if the camera is like messing with you guys, but yeah, I'm just the type of person that collects a lot of stuff, and so is my partner. And yeah, this is white sage. I have had this for many years and I don't use it very often. If you're somebody that tries to buy white sage, I would not recommend doing that because it's like, unless you're like native, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But I've had this for so many years, so I'm keeping it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, not book related, but yeah, metaphysical spiritual books. Then it goes into some nonfiction books. Then it turns into like my fiction books that I don't really know what category you would put them in. Women's fiction, classics, some more classics, and then it turns into manga and graphic novels, and then art books. Yeah, lots of space on that shelf. Then over here, which again, there's lots of spacing because, I mean, I think I said this earlier in the video, but I still have books in my office that I need to take home. But I mean, we have plenty of space now. So this top shelf will be just for my library checkouts. So these books I don't own. They belong to the library. And I just wanted to keep them separated so I don't, accidentally lose them. And then this is all of our like horror books. So there's like horror, and then it turns into what will be like my dark romance and paranormal romance type books. So I have like one mafia book, some paranormal romance. There's some more down here, and then this slowly turns into like young adult books, which I was really surprised that I actually own this many young adult books. How fun is that? And last but certainly not least is the historical romance bookshelf. I really like how this turns out, or I really like how this turned out. I know that this case at one point will be double stacked, which is fine. because I mean, I collect historical romance books now because of the covers and the step backs. But yeah, so here's some more tchotchkes. That's actually a painting I did probably like a good, geez, I don't know, like probably close to 10 years now. I did it like pretty early on in college. But yeah, so here's this row. These two books are my all-time favorite historical romances that I have ever read. Those are two of my 6-star reads. I do have another 6-star read, but I haven't bought the book yet. Once I buy it, I'll add it to like the display here. And then here's the next row. And then it kind of goes down. These are kind of in order of author last name, so they're in alphabetical order, loosely. And I know that's going to change as I get more books. I do have my Joanna Lindsay books on display because the covers are just so gorgeous. Her like old school 80s, 90s book covers, they're just my favorite. I love the artwork on them. They're gorgeous. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope this video wasn't too all over the place. I'm not used to filming like, how do I phrase it, like busy videos. Like I'm used to just sitting down in front of a camera and talking and not like actually showing you things. So I hope it was like not still enjoyable to watch. But yeah, I feel so much better because our living room is starting to look a little neater. As you can see, this back wall still has plenty of space, like the place where this Bosch tapestry is at. So in the future, if we have to get more bookshelves, we still have plenty of room. But yeah, I'm gonna go. This video is probably going to go up like a week after New Year's Day. But yeah, if you're watching this and the holiday season just recently passed for you, I hope you had a good holiday. I hope you read some good books. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go now, guys. Bye-bye.